Greetings everyone and welcome back to 365 Days of Prog. Today we're going to be reviewing the album Demons and Wizards by the band Uriah Heep.
Hi, my name's Naomi. I'm an avid progressive rock fan, but I'm a long ways from knowing all the prog albums out there. But this year, I'm gonna give it a try. This is 365 Days of Prog.
So, Demons and Wizards by Uriah Heep. So for some reason I thought their name was Uriah Heep and it sounded really like urine to me and I didn't know why, and then I checked and I saw that it was actually Uriah Heep, so I'm glad I caught that mistake firsthand. But before we get into this album, I want to let you all know what are my favorite bits of this album. So here they are and enjoy them. So as always, I was listening to this album and I was writing what I think about this album, and after I finished listening to the entire tracks, I started writing my conclusions about this album, but unfortunately the ink in my pen ran out. So I guess we're just gonna have to wing it for this one until I find a better pen, because I did not want to write anymore. I love my own Pilot 07 pens. But if you feel like supporting this journey and supporting me and buying more pens to write these reviews, please check out my Patreon. There's a lot of cool things on there. Buying pens is actually not one of them, but there's better things on there. So if you're interested, that's something to be found in the video description or on my channel page on like the tiny section in the banner. So look at that. But anyway, we're winging it today. So this album, Demons and Wizards by Uriah Heep, is the first Uriah Heep album I've ever listened to, and I was kinda expecting it to be something very fantastic. That's mostly because I've heard a lot of good things about this band and I was really looking forward to this. I don't know if this is their most critically acclaimed album like their Dark Side of the Moon or Aqualung, but what I do know is that they are a pretty appreciated band within the heavy prog scene. And I'd have to say that they do something which is really odd. I believe that most, like 90% of the tracks found on this album are basic prog. Now that's an oxymoron if you know what I'm saying. Those two things, the word basic, the word prog, they don't really go together all that well, because the entire idea of prog and prog rock is the progressiveness, the fact that nothing is basic, the fact that everything is changing and evolving, and you know, it's all interesting all the time. It doesn't work by any format, yet this album kind of feels like it is basic in some way. It doesn't really try and go out of its way to feature a lot of new and cool ideas. The songs on here, they sound to me quite the same. It's not that they have like the same chords, the same progressions, the same build, but they just don't really sound all that different to one another, and it doesn't feel like being progressive was a main motive of the band in this album. Now I might be wrong, but that's what I felt, and I'm saying all of this and it is relevant to most tracks besides the last track being The Spell. Now The Spell is the longer, what you'd expect off of a prog album. It features a lot of different motives, ideas, it is changing, it is cool, it is progressive, it is what I like about prog music, and it is definitely my favorite track off this album. But I honestly don't know what more to say about an album like this. It is fun, I guess. If you like heavy prog, it is good. If you like, you know, regular rock and you're getting into prog and you like the heavier material, I guess this album is for you actually. The subject matter found on here is somewhat fantastical. There's tales of demons and wizards and spells and stuff like that, but overall I don't think this is a very conceptual album, not even an idealistic album. It just is what it is. It's not very special to me, and I think this album does fall short when it comes in comparison to all the other albums we've listened to on this list. I would love to have listened to another Uriah Heep album that actually has the innovation found on the spell on it throughout most, or at least all of its runtime. So with not a lot more to say about the album, I guess we should just move on to the cover of this album. So the cover on here is a really nice one. I really love the color palette on it. I think it is really pleasing. I love the subject matter. Of course, the art is made by the legendary Roger Dean, who made a lot of the covers for Yes and Asia and other bands such as those. I really like how unmistakably there is a wizard on the cover, but unlike what you'd expect of a wizard to be with the robes and the stars and the wand, he actually looks all the more different, having been more connected with nature in some way. He has a set of unmatching butterfly wings and a wolf head cap, which is all very interesting because it looks like this wizard is taking the source of his magic from nature itself. But again, not a lot to say about this album cover and this album as a whole, and as I said, I'm kind of winging this album and I'm sorry for doing it, but it just is. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a better job. And of course, this all ties back to the fact that I'm still kind of sick with coronavirus, but I think I'm getting better, and hopefully in the next couple of days I'm gonna be healthy as ever. And with all that said, this album is going to receive a mediocre 5 out of 10. I don't think this is a very interesting album. It's not bad, but it is definitely not good. I just think that it's an okay background listen. If you just want to put something on a turntable and hang out with friends, you can do that, and you'll probably forget that you even listened to it. Oh boy, I hope I'm not being too harsh on this album for all of you Uriah Heep fans, but if I am, tell me why this is a good album or a bad album. I don't know, just tell me down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But I guess that's about it for today, guys. So stay tuned for tomorrow because we're going to be listening to an interesting and somewhat obscure album called Caterpillar by Caterpillar. I am saying Caterpillar because it is without the R. But that is about it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and bye, guys.